Titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me. We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
You fucking mark!
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
Wow. Holy shit, I'm back already. This is like 2 days in a row. Hasn't been done in years. Hasn't been done probably ever by anybody else other than Dr. Huge. And tonight, my guest, Danny Damage, from across the pond. Shout out to you, Danny. Thank you for staying up till the wee hours of the morning to talk about nonsense with none other than. So everybody clap at home.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
You're welcome.
The time.
You're on the greatest show in the universe. Have you ever heard that?
I'm learning
Say
that now, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it. You heard it here first, everybody. Greatest show in all the multiverses, everything. So first up, we're going to talk about a little bit of Danny. We're going to see who is Danny Damage, right? How'd you get into wrestling? What do you like about it? And who do you hate? That's what I want to know.
Hate's a strong word. We'll start with who I like, though. Well, when I was a kid, my dad got me into wrestling. He liked old school wrestling. Not for as long as I do, but yeah, once I got into it, he kind of lost interest. I think I liked it a bit too much for his liking. But he was kind enough to take me to Wembley. We saw SummerSlam when it came over here. We're like 2 rows from the back, so everyone was like yay big, but
Holy
still
crap.
one of the best.
That was like the biggest show ever at the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was huge. It was insane. I was 8 years old.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, he got me into that. I did the typical things as a kid, you know. I like Hogan and Warrior for 5 minutes, but then after a little time, it's like, meh. I like my Piper. I like Papa
Piper's the man.
Shango. I like those strange heels. I like the Repo Man. I just thought, well, you know, if you weren't meant to be
Man was
part there,
crazy.
if you owe someone money and he comes and collects it, then surely that's the right thing. I could sort of see his perspective. It's so yeah, I like some of the strange heroes. I like Jim Duggan. I loved Jim Duggan as a kid. Just
Hacks off. Oh,
yeah.
What is a? We know what a hoe is, but like, why would he say hoe and do that? I never understood that. Can you explain?
I always put it down to an American football thing. I didn't understand being English, so
Anybody in the chat? Yeah, just oh, I'm like, okay, you know, as a young child listening to gangster rap.
Yeah, I just thought it was something you shouted before, like charging through everybody in American football. I just went along with it. I just used to annoy people and shout it.
Yeah, well, maybe it's like a G.I. Joe, like a very American thing. Oh, let me say hello to the chat. I missed the chat here. Stuart, been a long time since in the live stream with this guy. Yep, back from the Periscope days. Back from the dead. I'm here. Look at that. I can't believe you're back, Stuart. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, everybody. You have to subscribe. I'm not doing this for anything. We need these numbers to go up. I need watch hours, okay? We need sponsors. We need Triple H watching again. Send this to Triple H, somebody on X, please. Tell him I'm back. Tell him let's go. It's time to pay up, right, for all the business I did for him from 2016 to 2020. Right, Danny?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the reason why WWE is as big as they are, really.
Nothing to do with the mucky old man disappearing. That was just coincidence.
yeah, right. He's off shitting on women somewhere, I'm sure. You know, he's ridiculous.
Whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
Him and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar just got off the hook with all this too, huh? I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. That's not even in the notes. I got so many notes and so many wrestling things to go through. But like with Vince McMahon, right? To me, I want your take, but to me, it looked like the business angled itself to get him out of there because the product was it was terrible and they couldn't get the big money deals to be done, TKO, all the rest, But what do you think? Do you think I'm on to something, or am I too much of a conspiracy theorist?
Oh no, definitely. Vince was he was getting in his own way because he was stuck in his own way. He wouldn't let anything change. Not all change is progression, but when it was just his way or the highway, it's just very frustrating for everybody involved. Not just the talent, which you can find loads of interviews of people saying how upset about Vince they were for legitimate reasons as well. Some people were getting like their asses grabbed and worse, and some people were just clashing creatively. But after all this time, it's just there was enough of the case to get rid of him, and they finally found the way to do it. Which he could have saved himself.
Timing, right?
He could have stepped aside when business was good or when he was seen in a better light, but he just tried to cling on for way too long, and eventually somebody had to have that little push, whether it was somebody that's related to him, whether it was an in-law, whether it was just a business partner that had just seen too many of his shady goings on. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out one day. But like I've always said about Vince, the biggest stories will come out after he's passed. Because while he's still around, anyone that he's ever sort of threatened or just intimidated because of his presence or his position in the industry, they won't want to say anything. They won't want to step on toes. But when he's gone, properly gone, then all these stories will come out, and they won't be pretty, I don't think. But that's just me going on. That's just me going on however many years now of studying the fella and just watching what he does and how everyone else around him ends up reacting and behaving.
Yeah, fucking Vince, you were a wild man. I understand you're old school. You were Harvey Weinstein it out there. I mean, in my opinion, I want to say that I don't think acting like this and having this behavior, I do not condone it. With that being said, right, there are other adults involved, and just because they have vaginas, I don't think that's that they are children, right? If you're an adult, you're an adult, right? So what does it matter if you're a different gender? Only Vince can get heat from this because he's the evil, nasty man. But also, he did give up some of his billions to somebody else. So I'm just saying that it was it kind of an what do you call these things? Arrangements.
Oh yeah,
I think I've heard that word before.
Yeah,
lots of P Diddy lube probably. I mean, we're speculating here. This is in my opinion, and then the Sleaze's opinion in the chat. There might have been some lube involved. There could have been. We definitely know there was fecal matter involved. We know there was. Where's my shits? There it is.
It's the shits.
Brett screwed.
No, don't try to blame this on Bret Hart, Vince. Okay, you must have loved Bret Hart, right? Because he was a part of the Canadian gang, which was British Bulldog and all that. He was your favorite wrestler, right? British Bulldog, because you're from there, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say my favorite. Well, definitely.
If he wasn't, he wasn't. I mean, it could be Repo Man for all I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, Repo Man wasn't my absolute favorite, but there was over here. I don't know. I think we saw what we had at the seaside, where we had Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy, where it was just two big fat guys basically just running into each other with the bellies, and that got over with us kids when we were really little. But then after a while, we sort of realized, that's not as impressive as someone with a bit more character or someone with a bit more athleticism and could put on a good wrestling match. And
He's fat.
Yeah, very.
True.
And they knew the promoter; they were related, so that also helps you get on the top of the card. But yeah, so there was more interesting things I always found, and a lot of us over here sort of saw the American side been a bit cheesy in some respects. That's like I say, my dad liked wrestling until I really, really, really liked it, And then when I started showing him all this American stuff, he was a bit like, "Man, that's not the sort of stuff I
he was like,
remember."
it's
And
like showing a grown adult that grew up on WWE, showing them their kids are like, hey, look at Sasha Banks on AEW, and you're like, what? You're like, I
yeah,
disown you, son. Get out of my house. And then
yeah,
they have to
pretty
go live in a
much.
cardboard box at 8, you know?
Yeah, so everyone's got their own like cringeable talent, as we'll say. But
Yep.
yeah, the
It's all
Repo
it was
Man.
all Sasha Banks' fault in my example there being used. I don't want that to be lost on anybody. Okay. Because she's
Oh
still
no,
Sasha Banks. She still sucks, right?
yeah, yeah. It's a great example and a terrible, terrible wrestler. Sorry.
You think she's bad in the ring? I don't think she's
Well,
bad in the ring.
no. Yeah, no, you're right. She's not the worst,
She
but it's
is
just.
terrible everywhere else, though. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't bring myself to sit down and enjoy watching her in the ring because they give her too much mic time beforehand, and just it's not even like good heat. It's just I want to turn over the station and watch something else, or just Christ, I'd rather watch somebody else on AEW, and that's saying something.
Yeah. It's like listening to a baby cry. You know, like especially, have you ever heard like a podcast? They think it's funny, like they think somebody's a baby or whatever, and they play the baby crying noise, and
Yeah.
they just keep going with it. And you're like, I'm not listening to this. You think it's funny? I'm not listening. So have fun with that. Maybe like that was like me in this. I lost a couple people for these.
The best in the world.
I mean, it's pretty funny, but you don't want to hear that over and over. You know.
No, too many times is a bit. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
why people are just zone out.
How about this one then?
The best in the
All
world.
right, I'm not going to do it again. I
Yeah.
promise. It was a different one though. It would have gone. It was a much cleaner version though. So there can only be one female wrestler. That is Nia Jax. How can that be? Nia Jax is your favorite wrestler, Stuart? What do you think of that? That's a
Oh.
hot take.
Yeah, I'll give her credit. She has gotten better in the last year or so, but that's still a bit of a low difficulty bar. She was horrendous before, so the fact that she's not just accidentally falling over onto people and injuring them instantly, it's an improvement. But
Yeah,
no, she has.
definitely-
Yeah, she has. She's been listening to somebody, and she has taken it a bit more seriously in the last year or so. Definitely.
Yep. Nia Jax is cool. I like the they gave her the bonsai. And she you can tell she gives it to some of these girls backstage.
Yeah.
Like you can tell she doesn't like Rhea Ripley. Because she's bonsai dropped on her and then started slapping her face. You know, that wasn't, I don't think that was a part of the act. I think that was Nia Jax just taking her liberties, like, bitch, I'm bigger than
Right.
you, and you think you're the shit back here, and you're not, and I'll go eat your lunch now, you know? So,
Yeah, a little bit of that's healthy. You don't want too much so people just like full ball fist fighting off script. But yeah, it's a little,
if anybody's
a
going to
little
be
bit of
shooting,
salt.
it's Nia.
Mm.
But
it works well
fucking-
with her because she's just got that resting stank face, and it's just yeah.
She's a big bully. And Rhea Ripley, I mean, you were getting a little big for your britches there earlier this year with like a lot of the other women not around, you know, the Nia Jaxes and the Charlotte
Yeah.
Flairs and people that would put her in her place, you know. So, but she takes it lightly. She doesn't bonsai everybody and, you know, give them the old Vinnie Mac here. But to some, you keep on the lookout. If you ever see Nia Jax in a wrestling match, she's about to do her finishing maneuver. She's either coming down 150%, or you can tell she's gonna just sit down on them very lightly.
Well, with what you said about Rhea, if there's two different sort of like ways to see that. When you've got somebody that's young and they've made it in the business quite quickly, and they've sort of like they've got a lot of people behind them, that can go to the heads. If you just give them everything and everyone backstage is telling them how great they are and that lot, your ego can swell a bit too much. But the same could be said for someone like Nia Jax, who's got family in the business. The main reason she got the position she's in, well, that's my assumption, is because of who she knows, not because of what she knows. So those two types of people can both be sort of like overinflated with like how important they think they are. So yeah, just let them start taking chunks out of each other. Just
Yep.
the little slap here and a little bit of extra mustard there. It's healthy. It gets people to wind their neck in a bit, I think.
Yeah. I'm looking at through my notes here. Like, what do I got to talk about this guy. I got to get your take on this fella here. Look at him. He looks awesome right
Let me
here.
say it one more time so you completely understand. If you actually think that I was just the right guy.
What? I think he's trying to lead us on to something. What is he trying to say? He's Trump team 2000. He's T2. He's going off lately. He's back in the scene. Have you heard? Hulk Hogan has come back. As reported by Dr. Huge last night, he's coming back to save America from the border. He's gonna go to the border and he's gonna fuck everybody's wives and he's gonna call them the N-words, and then he's gonna with the power of Hulkamania make America great again, brother. You like Hulk Hogan? You a Hulk Hogan guy?
No, I'm afraid not. I can see why. Yeah, I can see why people appreciate him. I can see why it was helpful for Trump's campaign. But I can see if you were to put him on the border, if you would have him to stand and just march back and forth on the wall with a bullhorn, with a megaphone, just cutting promos and everyone trying to climb over the wall or break through, that would be quite good, actually, I think. It would work as a deterrent.
Walls down, Jericho style, yeah.
You could even get a few impersonators. Just obviously, he can't patrol the whole border. So if you just had a few Hulk Hogans just like marching back and forth along the wall
here that we can use.
Yeah,
he's just looking up.
That's disturbing.
I got one more somewhere. I think he was my thumb wrestler from the 80s.
Right.
But we got to keep Hulk up on the screen just for a little bit while we talk about other things, because this is amazing.
This is where we shed our blood, sweats, and tears.
That's right. Blood, sets, and tears. Blood, like the Crips and the Bloods. He's going to rep his blood sets, right?
This is where we shed our blood, sets, and tears.
I love that clip. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. When you're cutting as many promos as he's cut, you're bound to have some stinkers and some Freudian slips and some, yeah.
He had tons of them back in, the early 2000s. I loved it. I love Undertaker. He has some of the best botches because, he's the Undertaker. This is a thing. This Danny has never seen Dr. Huge or heard his show before. Isn't that amazing? I think I messed up the camera. There we go. We fixed it. But Danny never heard the show before, so you've never heard.
Look.
No, not this. I don't want to hear from you. Where's the Undertaker?
Rest in peace.
That was one of the best. The Hagrum after the rest in peace. What do you think about that? Do you think the Undertaker was great on the mic? You better say so, or he's coming for you.
Oh no! I was a big Undertaker fan as a kid. I do believe they kept him around for way too long, which people did eventually start to agree with me on. But just years before that, it was just sad to see them wheeling him out, and I'm glad he didn't. But I just thought he was going to Tommy Cooper, British comedian who died on stage. I thought that's what he was after. He wanted to go doing what he was doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Undertaker. I actually had a good gimmick for him. Years ago, where I was like, you know what? Have him go into retirement, but have him still around, and say every once in a great while in one of these spooky matches, kind of like Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt's crew there, Bo Dallas's crew. He comes out and drives a hearse in and takes one of them out or something.
Yeah,
maybe does a spot. I think you can do that like once a year, and it could just be random. Everybody could even expect it at some point. He could be, and then you don't even have to put the whole that wig they had on him. They had that fucking mullet they'd put where they stitched it like into the back of the head. It was ridiculous at the end. And then that look he gave Goldberg at the end of the match, where he knew it was just the complete shits. Yeah. Have him come back, gray-haired, no Kiko Man soy sauce, up in the head, and let him drive all the dead wrestlers from the scary, like when the Miz got eaten by zombies a couple of years ago.
That was
That was
not
terrible,
good.
but
Yeah, with the Phantom of the Opera is how I sort of like saw the Undertaker's what should have been his retiring role, or the Phantom of WrestleMania. So, like you say, it doesn't need to be in matches. It doesn't even have to be in the build. Just some heel is just taking liberties, and like pretty much like what happened this year. Just the lights go out, Taker's there, chokeslam someone, lights off, and he's gone. And he's watching his old home. He doesn't have to be the main attraction. He doesn't have to even be in a match. He doesn't even have to take a bump. Just come in, chokeslam someone, or just drag someone to hell, so they disappear for the rest of the match, and that's it. Just as like an extra authority figure, would have been really nice. But instead, they saw the money that they could be made with him still, and they saw their not completely weak roster, but they had a pretty weak roster at that point. So they needed the big names. They needed to book Undertaker and Goldberg.
yep.
Sadly.
Yeah, I mean, even now, he still wants to work. When they
Does
had him
he?
at NXT
Bloody
a couple
hell.
months ago, and he's like, "Oh, you got something for me in the ring or whatever, this and that, to like actually do something like, physical." And HBK, looked at him with his one eye and said, "Nope, you're not doing shit, bro. What are you talking about? Get out of here." And I only wonder why HBK blocked me online. He was my favorite wrestler,
Right.
So HBK, come on. You can't take a lazy eye joke here or there. I know Kane punched your eye out. I know you got the leather face going on. None of us are perfect over here, so get over it, dude. Don't make me fucking come to Orlando. I know where you are, bro. Okay?
Yeah, he's the last person that should be getting upset for like piss-taking jokes.
HBK blocks it. He does? Why does he block everybody? That's stupid. KR, you better be subscribing too. Everybody subscribe right now. Like this video. You know what? Don't like it. I think that works even better. The reverse psychology on everybody these days, since everybody acts like a bunch of fucking kids. Don't like the show. Huh? How about that? Don't subscribe. I'm doing this for, my own sanity, right? He won't see you coming. He won't. He won't. I know which side to go on. I'm going to swing that fucking steel chair so hard that it's going to make him hagrum his pants. That's right, hagrum. All right. Maybe we should get into some kind of wrestling news. I mean, this isn't a wrestling program, but we're going to act like it is for a little bit. There was some Raw fallout because Monday Night Raw happened in between Monday Night Football, which I was actually watching. But then I did watch a little bit of Raw, and I kept up with it. And Big Booty Bailey at the very end of the night came out and kind of confused me because she comes out and cheats for Bianca Belair. And Bailey and Bianca are both good guys, but they cheated and got the advantage in War Games for Survivor Series this Saturday. So do you have a take on any of these things, Danny? I know you haven't been keeping up with WWE or wrestling in general much lately, but how does that make sense to you that you would have the good guys cheating at the end of a show, a go-home show, going into the pay-per-view, and you got the good guys cheating? Like,
Are they going for the whole AEW approach where it's just like, good guys and bad guys, we don't do that? Or are they just doing that because it's War Games and you have to get your hands dirty to see victory? I'm not sure. I'm going to catch back up. It's only since Bad Blood that I've just taken a little break. So I couldn't bring myself to watching Blood Money, Crown Jewel, or whatever they call it. I call it Blood Money because the sheer amount of adverts they just cram in there while you're trying to enjoy something and enjoy the momentum. It's really off-putting. So I will definitely start keeping up with it and catch up. But I haven't seen Bailey and Bianca. There's a cool little team actually, if you think about it. Are they going to turn? Because I assumed with Jade and Bianca that wasn't going to last forever, and if Bailey's helping Bianca cheat, then or if they're both cheating, that's maybe where they're going.
that's true. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. One of them is definitely going to be a bad guy because of Jade going out. But would they make I don't think it's a good idea to make Bailey a heel again, even though her babyface run up till now has just been the complete shits.
It's the shits.
The shits. I mean, what is her character right now? I'm Egyptian. I think that's it.
Really?
You know, like, okay, that's your character. So I would much rather it be Bianca Belair, because rumor had it backstage, of course, this could be more online works, which probably is leading us up to this point. And Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill just can't stand each other. That was the word on the dirt sheets there. So Bianca Belair going up, split that thing up. It's time. Plus, they got to do something with Jade. You know, you got to do something with this. But tag teams is not enough.
It seemed like the natural direction. As soon as they put them together, it's like, yeah, these two are a beast of a tag team, but it's not going to last. And you could see them feuding with each other eventually. And I think it was just expected that Jade would be the one to be the heel, because Bianca's just done so much as a babyface. But I've always just listened to Bianca's theme music. It's just it's heel music. I don't know why she still has. Yeah, I don't know why, and it's great music, but it doesn't suit her as a babyface. So I'm surprised they haven't turned her sooner because of that and because of the potential. But then they are doing like the female John Cena / female Cesaro sort of like bit where she gets to do like the strong woman spot in like every match. Sorry, like 2 or 3 times. So I can see why they'd be reluctant to turn her and possibly lose some of that merchandise money. But what you lose in her merch money, you'll probably make up in Jade's merch money. And it'll help Jade get over a bit better if she's the babyface in the situation.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, if she's not ready by now, then like, what the hell? Then you shouldn't be here, I guess.
Yeah.
But the person that should hate Bianca Belair's song the most is fucking Montez Ford. Because Montez Ford, she's literally telling you in a song that she don't need you, bro.
Yeah.
And at this point, you know, it's kind of looking that way.
Yeah.
So subliminally, you know, this is kind of fucked up, Montez. Maybe you want to look into that. You know, the only thing I can say and clown Montez about is that he looks like he has Sideshow Bob feet. His feet look like skis. So keep an eye out for that when you watch. Because I'm always like, everybody's amazed that he can jump really high and do it. I'm like, how does he not get his feet all tangled in the ropes? Because they're fucking 3 feet long, you know? And I know the whole, everybody thinks, oh, big hands, big feet, that means something. If that was the case, then explain porn midgets. Right? I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of those, but I'm telling you, they're fucking packing, bro. Okay,
how did it not fall over?
Exactly.
How did it not just topple over? Bro?
And they got the smallest little carny hands in the world, just like Adam Cole. And but we know Adam Cole isn't one of those because he's an underwear wrestler. Get it? I mean, geez, it must have been really cold at Full Gear. Fucking what a name for that show when you're packing 0.0 inches.
That's just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sidetrack you, but just Adam Cole, what a sad story that's turned into. It's not even news. I don't talk to many people about it, but
he's yellow now. Have you seen?
Yeah, the poor bastard. He moved, and then his missus left, and yeah, he's tiny. He's like one of the smallest on the roster of tiny people. It's just poor bastard.
That's right. I mean, it is. I feel bad for him. I honestly think this is one of the things where it actually made sense what Vince McMahon was saying at the time. When back in the day, he was like, I want him to be Keith Lee's manager. This guy's great on the mic. He can still work, all that stuff. It's the Finn Balor deal. Like when Finn Balor was getting pushed, it seemed by Triple H mostly. And then eventually he had to come up against this guy if it's the right page. No, it's not the right page. All right, hold on. How about this one?
I'm the beast.
There he is. Finn Balor had to take on the fucking beast.
I'm the beast.
And then right after that, they sent him back to NXT, which I told everybody was going to happen because I'm a fucking wrestling expert out here. And, you know, he's gotten better. He's back. He's got the Judgment Day now. But anyway, I don't know what my original point was, but it was you know, that these things can work out if you use them the way Vince wants to use them, because they look at a guy like Adam Cole and they're like, he's the size of a baby. Get it? He's really tiny. He is now orange and yellowish because he's apparently must be vampire white. So all these things, you can have the greatest. Listen, I'm not putting on underwear and boots and acting like I'm gonna go out there and impress anybody with the stature, right? That's not the name Dr. Huge comes from. It's not because of my stature, guys. Try to keep up. It's about, other stuff. So Adam Cole, don't go out there in your underwear. First of all, put on some pants like Jericho did. Listen to Vince McMahon, maybe even become a manager. Eric Bischoff talked about it recently. Eric Bischoff said Kyle O'Reilly looks like he should be mopping up Taco Bell. Okay.
Tricky smokes.
I'm all over the place. There we go. He was saying, who else sucked to Eric Bischoff? He's basically saying that none of these guys look like wrestlers. So we've come on to something here, I think. What does the chat think? If Adam Cole's your guy, I know he can put on good matches. So can Johnny Gargano. But guess what? I don't buy it. And I'm sure a lot of little kids, especially if they see him in person, they're not going to buy it either. So what was the other thing? O'Reilly mopping up at Taco Bell, yes. Looks like most of these guys in AEW look like they should be changing your tires.
Yeah.
This all resonates with me.
At least O'Reilly's got that look in his eye, though, where he's actually been in a scrap. It's not just the build and the height, but this is my problem with a lot of the female wrestlers. Sorry for anybody now that's going to get upset with me because I've upset your bae. I'm slagging her off or whatever, but just when they don't have like a killer instinct look in their eye, or at least just some sort of like body language that suggests they've been in a scrap. Kyle O'Reilly, he convinces me of that he's at least sparred with people, that he's got, he's thrown hands with somebody.
Bobby Fish.
Yeah. And Adam Cole, though, it's just like, yeah, in NXT you could stand there and pose with your shirt off, but then stand next to someone that's like 6'5", 6'6", or bigger, that's built, and it's like, yeah, it's very noticeable now that you are much smaller than everybody else, which worked with like a Shawn Michaels, but then when everybody is that size, it's just like, this is why people call you the little leagues, because on average you are much smaller.
Shawn Michaels was fucking jacked out of his mind, especially like the late 90s. And same thing with Jericho. These guys were built. Adam Cole isn't built. He looks like any other guy when you go outside.
Yeah, any other guy watching. It's the thing Punk said when he was like, oh, I'm tougher than all the guys you love or whatever it was. It's just, that really hit a nerve with a lot of them. And that was, I don't think anybody could actually just hit the nail on the head as well as he did when he took that shot.
Yeah. And how about another guy? I don't even dislike Adam Cole. I can tell you I do dislike Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
How about Are you a Kenny Omega guy? Doesn't seem,
Yeah. Cheap plug, if you go on geeksandgamers.com and look up my That's Not Wrestling series that I wrote for them 3 years ago now, well before everybody else jumped on this bandwagon of finally realizing that AEW isn't all that in a bag of chips. Kenny Omega is one of the main people that I will just go to task with because he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. And he's another example of too many people telling him too often that he's great. He might be a big fish in a little pond, but compared to other people with proper talent, it doesn't compare. He's gone way too far past the basic training sort of days to learn anything new now, I think. And he won't be told that he's wrong. He won't be told that he hasn't picked things up. And sadly, he's a lost cause. Yeah.
And he looks like, what is it? Not Groucho Marx. He looks like the other guy, the other old timer. Harpo Marx.
Harpo Marx.
He does. Yep. Sissy slap fight party, whatever that was called, that didn't help.
No.
What else didn't help?
Wrestling with the blow up doll.
Wrestling blow up doll. Yep. This is all long ago. I mean, he's come a long way since then, maybe, but maybe not.
wrestling children in apartments. There's a lot of red flags. I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't want to pay attention to with him.
Because I believe a lot of, like, his big matches where everybody's like, oh my God, how are they doing that? I think anybody willing to do 45 minutes or whatever, Seth Rollins or whatever, if he was on the indies and all, he could do the same thing and probably better. So like, why am I supposed to care that that Kenny's doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at where's
Every match as
Okada
well.
now? Yeah. Well, like in this Kenny Omega, he's like going off to wrestle in New Japan, I think, before he's even going back to AEW. And AEW is investing all his money and put this whole thing together. Basically, as of right now, you'd be like one of the biggest names, and he's not even coming back anytime soon. I that's what I'm hearing. So,
yeah. When it takes 25 to 45 plus minutes to beat every opponent, that isn't a compliment to yourself. I don't. It's just
true.
He's too desperate to be on screen or in the middle of the center. Sorry, he's too desperate to be the center of attention for so long. He doesn't realize that taking 25 to 45 minutes to beat anybody makes him look like a pussy. He doesn't look strong. He should at least be able to beat some people in a minute or two. But they don't grasp this concept. It's too complicated for them. They just think, I want to be on screen for 25 to 60 minutes sometimes. We want to have Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart style Iron Man match where everyone's kicking out for the last 20 minutes. We see all our special moves 73 times, and we just overkill everything. And they don't get it. They really don't get it.
Yeah.
They played too many video games of wrestling and played manager mode.
Yep. And if you were to have even an Iron Man match, say, in this day and age, which they have had some, don't let it go the whole time. Let somebody get knocked out at the 30-minute mark when you know everybody's going to be, you're pretty much done with it at that point.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're going backstage and you just meander the whole time until you throw somebody into an electrical box or something. So, you know, one of these things. So, yeah. All right. Back to this Raw fallout here. New Day, they have a 10-year anniversary next week, and they're now fighting more than ever. This has been the longest build to a breakup ever, but apparently they've been waiting for the actual anniversary. I thought they got together in 2015, but who knows? It's wrestling. They could just fudge the numbers. Alpha Academy beat them last night, and they were so excited. They must have hagrummed all over each other because they were all kissing and rubbing. Imagine a three-way with Tozawa and Otis, and then the other girl, the hottest chicken probably that they have there, that they dress up like a goof every week. Maybe stop doing that. You know, she really a comedy act when she's a 10.
The last that was in the modeling agency thing with LA
Yes.
Knight, that one, right? Yeah.
Yep. I know her name. I just don't know it right now. So
Maxine.
deal with it. Maxine Dupree.
Oh, look at that.
That's right. She's one of the top. She's a goat. You know, just like Saul Ruka, who you'll maybe seeing tonight. She's a goat. At her, everybody send this to her and tell her she's the best. Okay. It was Tiffany Stratton, but now Tiffany Stratton's kind of like not on screen as much, and now Saul Ruka's out there doing splits and things. Keep it up. You're going far, kid. You're going to get one of them belts on you soon, as long as you do splits. All right, let's get Hulk Hogan off the screen. I had enough of looking at him.
Thank you.
Let's look at, how about this? Remember this? That happened. And this is a picture of Mike Tyson pulling his punch when he could have blasted this dude right here on the right side. Oh, my God. Why didn't you do it, dude? I mean, we all know why you did, right? So.
Lots of that.
I mean, that was the shits. I really was yelling at myself because I was going to bet on it, and I knew it was rigged. But the best thing to do is bet on something that you know is rigged. I knew it was going to go to the distance. You know, I knew that this was fake, but something I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. The media, and then at the same time, right before the fight started, they showed everybody the gambling lines, like on the pay-per-view. And at the very bottom, they had the winner, which was it's going to go the distance. And then all the announcers were like, oh, it's Mike Tyson. He's going to knock him out in the first round. And oh, Jake Paul is like 20-something and he's 100. So he's going to knock him out. And they were really pushing that to get the money up, you know. And I could see right through it. I still didn't bet, even though I knew. So, damn it. Work, brain. But you didn't see it, right? I'm sure
I didn't watch it live. No.
Exactly.
No, it's the future. It's the Futurama line where it's like, oh, I thought it was real, like wrestling, not rigged like boxing, or whichever way around it is. It's just like
yeah. Boxing never rigged.
Yeah, the last few matches those brothers have had have just been very questionable. I watched the first few, but then I was like, no, these are predetermined. Thanks. Both fantastic athletes, and Tyson for his age, hell yeah, he would not want to get within like punching distance of him and gob off at him. One of those would just kill you. But yeah, we'll not have any more fake boxing matches.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. was totally different. That's all I know.
Right.
Like they were actually kind of doing something.
Yeah. If you enjoyed it still, then fair enough, you enjoyed it still. But I'm not gonna get hyped up, and especially not going to start betting on it.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're going to experiment right now, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, get subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget to like this. I got to tell everybody to do that or they don't do it because I have to be told things, Danny, in this day and age. Press those buttons. And then even then they're going to be like, now I have to press the button. But I'm telling you, it's for a good cause, all right?
Look,
to keep Dr. Huge on the air.
Yeah, look at all the quality content you've got so far. We're 45 minutes in, and Dr. Huge hasn't even started his review yet. So, well, he's touched on it, but plenty more to go. So,
one main thing I want to try, like this is my experiment. Let's get a video up on the board. Let's watch Jason Kelsey get harassed by what seems to be maybe a homeless paparazzi. That's what I'm going to go with. I think that's what it is. Let's see if this works, because then we got to do more in the future and all this. So here we go. Wow. TMZ bringing it to us.
Don't do that. We're the king of the streets. People are dying out here. You're jumping in.
All right. First off, king of the streets. People are dying out here. I'll give you a little bit of context. This guy is like screaming at Jason Kelsey, who's a former football player. If you heard Danny Damage, or what we call over here American football.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get you.
Not soccer. Big center guy. Everybody knows him. His brother dates Taylor Swift. And this guy apparently tried to get an autograph for him or from him. So.
In a car acting like a hot shot. Kiss my fucking ass. My whole family died before I made it. You ain't nobody special. You're some shitbag fucking guy that thinks he's on some pedestal. Don't be
a pedestal.
Dick. I'm with it. My whole fucking family. I don't care. Fuck the autograph. It's the attitude. There's death in these fucking streets 2 blocks away and you're being a dick.
So this is over an autograph, right? And I just keep telling myself while I'm watching these videos, I'm like, so he's just going to go off. These people that go out there to the hotels and the airports and follow famous people around trying to get a signature from them. So what? You can get $50 off of eBay. His signature ain't worth shit. You know, I'm into all that stuff. I know the prices. Trust me. You don't need to get his signature, bro. So maybe calm down.
You couldn't put it to our fucking name? May we please? May we please?
I have a habit of not signing for people that follow where I'm going.
We're here at it. We're not following you. We get every guest that comes here. Morgan fucking Freeman did it with a busted hand. That's 100 times bigger than your sorry ass. You got a podcast?
I gotta get this guy on the show, by the way.
And you think you're a hot shot? You're nothing. Fuck you. You don't love nothing but money. You don't know these streets. Fuck you. Your love is fake. Nah, we get everybody here. You're a hot shot.
We get everybody here. Apparently, this guy, this is the king of the streets right here, out here hustling the autographs. What do you think about this, Danny, and these people that like stalk celebrities and wrestlers for their autographs?
Yeah, there's no need for that. I'm just trying to figure out. So this guy with the camera tried to get an autograph first, and then started filming, or was he just filming and trying to get his scoop
I'm guessing
at the
he
same
tried
time?
to, got disrespected somehow, like blown off. And then he's like, whoa, I'm pulling out the phone and I'm going to freak out. And then we get this. Then he
Yeah, and
gives us this content.
if it is how it seems, then bollocks to that. There's no need for that. If you see someone famous and they happen to have time to take a picture or sign something for you, then great. But if they're too busy or they don't like you because you've got a camera in the face, then yeah, bollocks to you. I can't remember. I've met a few famous people, and I don't even think. When I was a child, I met someone and asked for their autograph, but I met Graham Linehan last year, the writer of Father Ted, and I'd shook his hand and chatted with him. I didn't get an autograph, I didn't ask for a photograph, I just enjoyed the fact that I was chatting to him and speaking to somebody that had written some great shows that I'd enjoyed. And yeah, I can see why it would annoy him if I'd just been like, oh yeah, let me get a selfie and sticking the phone in his face or just pestering him and interrupting what he was doing. So yeah, there's a big problem with entitlement with a lot of us, and we just expect celebrities to just stop doing what they're doing.
It's funny. I'm going to just fast forward to the end
Fuck
right
the
here
guy
because
that
look
tells
at
you
where
I'm
we
gonna
end
come
up.
here and we honor them with love.
He's out there giving me the
I
honor.
feel you and I appreciate you, brother.
Did you get me? Come on.
Jason,
Thank you.
you're
Yeah.
really nice. Thank you.
Like we're talking, these are children out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man?
And they've rewarded it now, so they've rewarded his behaviour. So now he's going to do this again. Other people just pester and whinge until they finally get what they want. And no, they should have just told him to stick it and maybe try to be polite next time. Assuming, like I say, when we joined the video, assuming everything was as it seemed, and he was just being a bit of a dick.
I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, it picked up right when he started like really berating him, and then and then it would, yeah. I mean, doesn't that clinch it for you? I got the autograph at the end. Nuts.
It was CM Punk told a story about he was watching a baseball game or a football game, and him and his missus went and got hot dogs, and some guy was like, "Hey Phil," and just expected the same thing, and he was like, "No man, go away." And the guy went on the internet and started saying CM Punk was a dickhead for it, and it's like, no, I think anyone should have treated you the same way. To be honest, if you were that disrespectful, you're not entitled to private time or a free autograph you can sell.
Yep, I'm with you. Fuck these people. That's what I say. When I see my fans out there, I slap them before they eat. When they come up to me, I just fucking slap them, open hand. I don't punch them.
Yeah.
Big slap. So if you want
TMZ
see me.
TMZ are known for just like popping in people's faces though as soon as they get out of a car or in the airport, and they're just
they're the best. Yeah. Do you know anything about NXT? That's the show that's going to be on tonight.
No.
We can preview that, or not at all.
No. When it was an hour, it was the best hour on television. When NXT was an hour long, it was worth your network subscription just for that. I happily paid that $9.99 a month for the hour of NXT. But once it went to the vultures of television, as I call them, it's gone down. But I can still see why people do appreciate it. It's just not as hot as it used to be, in my opinion.
It is actually one of my favorite shows as of late, especially they have so many wrestlers at this point that NXT is filled up with like a ton of talent, and they almost seem to not know what to do with all of it. So you got this like women's division where they keep bringing in international women that are like huge in the indies, and I assume they will be somewhat big in WWE for them to even like bring them in like that. But then everything NXT is doing is what AEW should be doing right now.
Definitely.
Because they technically have the better talent. They have people that are more like veterans, like the Daniel Bryans and Dean Ambroses of the world. So, I mean, if AEW scaled down and made it more about the aesthetic and the way that the show looked, in a small space like NXT does, and then was more specific with how they're going to display their wrestlers, because AEW has the same problem WWE has, where it's a good problem where they have too many wrestlers. Like, that's a good problem to have. But then AEW seems to put these wrestlers out to the point where it's like, I don't like, it's such a mixed bag every week you tune in. There's no real continuations of anything going on.
Yeah. AW is just like open mic night. You've just there's no rhyme or reason why people follow each other. And
Yep.
I booked gigs when I was younger for like local bands and things like that, and you can't put a classical musician on before a heavy metal band, and then you need to have some sort of like direction, and it needs to flow nicely. AEW doesn't have that. Everyone's just doing their own thing when they want, how they want, and bollocks to whether or not it makes sense before, to what came before, what comes afterwards. NXT has a better vision for that, definitely. And even though, like you say, they've got way too many talent on their roster, they do find a better way to present them on NXT than AEW. In the ring, NXT is great. Even with the younger guys, my issue is just all the backstage stuff it's just as tacky and cheesy as AEW. It's very high schooly, very teenage, and a bit sort of like cringe worthy.
But you know
in
what?
my opinion, with that.
So I let them get away with that. I almost thought that was behind me for a second. I almost shit my pants. I'm like, I'm ready to do one of these. But
it's the missus sneaking through.
I'm like, well, wow, there's a ghost.
What? There's only me live here. What are you on about? Was no one else in the house? What did you say?
Oh man, but I don't even know what my thought was now. I would talk about NXT and AEW.
NXT, the maturity of the backstage stuff.
Right. So, yeah, the immaturity of it fits because now that they've moved to CW, which is literally a teeny bopper station over here, it like makes all the sense in the world.
Okay.
It's like now NXT is more geared towards little kids and not even little kids, like 13-year-olds, tweeners and stuff like that, which I think it will hook a lot of them, just having it on that show. So, and also they do their show from Full Sail. So I'm being an apologist for him. I swear I'm not a WWE shill out here and I'm hating on AEW or anything. I would like all these companies to do well so it entertains me better. But what NXT is doing, except for Shawn Michaels blocking Dr. Huge, is basically perfect, I think. So keep it up. Keep doing it, guys. And
you're not necessarily apologizing for it, but understanding it isn't the same as condoning it. So you can understand where they're coming from and how they're remarketing to a different audience, or to just a slightly younger audience. But AEW tries to market to the same people. But like
you mean they're not trying to market to psychos? Wasn't there a quote that Tony Khan said, like, this is for the crazy...
The sickos. For the sickos.
No, so he's doing it for the sickos. The little kids can't be sickos yet. I mean, maybe some of them, but
they're still welcome to go, though, apparently, and they're more than happy to advertise all this strange shit in front of them, which is a bit of a red flag, but it's neither here nor there.
All right, I'm gonna just break down NXT because it's about to come up in about 5 minutes, guys. So don't forget me when you're on your X, because I'm gonna be going on there and watching some and goofing on a little bit here and there. But tonight we got Julia versus Kalani Jordan, which should be good. They both were probably two of their best workers on there. I mean, this Kalani Jordan. They're all, I would say, kind of green. Like I said, they got international talent that has been out in the indie scene. But Kalani, they're getting a lot of gymnasts and pro athletes from the women's side, which again makes all the sense in the world. Like, why wouldn't you do that? And you can tell they're athletes because this shit ain't nothing to them. They're like, oh, wrestling? You want me to do a backflip over here? You want me to do, like, even to me, like, I was an athlete growing up. I could still do some stuff if I actually worked out for a little bit. But, wrestling really shouldn't be that hard. It's a dance with somebody else. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we've watched a bunch of, like, 70-year-olds, like, the past 10 years, Ric Flair being one of them out here wrestling still. So it can be done. It's just something you have to learn as far as a dance. But that's happening tonight. Iron Survivor Tournament must go towards the pay-per-view that they're going to be having this weekend for Survivor Series. Stop me if you've heard any of these people. Ethan Page.
Yeah,
who,
I like Ethan Page. Really
Me
like
too.
Ethan Page.
I told
Back from
everybody he was
TNA.
going to be.
He was still part of the North when I was watching TNA last during
Yep.
lockdown when TNA was really good at that point before they just leaned really hard into the pre-filmed reality TV style stuff. But yeah, Ethan Page was in the North and they were tag champs and they were fucking brilliant. I'm
Yeah,
really
he's
glad
the man.
he's found something good in NXT now because AEW did not use him well and you could see his potential.
Yep.
So I'm happy for Page.
He reminds me of like a younger Miz.
Yeah.
And even though the Miz is still around, watch out, watch your back, bro. Good thing he's with Karrion Kross now. That's also amazing, and I think is good. And I like that they kept Karrion Kross around, even though a lot of the fans really wanted to get him out. I don't think they really understood what he was trying to do, but he was doing like promos away from WWE, kind of, where it would like Kevin Sullivan with the Prince of Darkness themes and all this different stuff. I'm like, this is all kicks ass, and I don't understand why anybody wasn't getting on board with it. Probably because they were losing and everybody's a bunch of marks, right? So that's probably why. But what else is happening tonight? Tatum Paxley versus Fallon Henley for the North American title. I'm telling you, all these chicks in the show too. Fucking smoke shows. This is ridiculous. Like WWE only hires hot chicks. Doesn't matter if you're black, Latina, white, Asian. You're like one of the hottest ones. Brunettes, blonde. Like, have your pick. It's like you walked into one of those Rush Hour 2 masseuse parlors there, where it's just like they're all great. They all can work, which is amazing. So, again, at least HBK can see something with one of his eyes. That's right. Sol Ruka, she's my goat. Nikita Lyons, also, if you like BBW ninjas who talk like stripper rappers,
Ooh.
you got that. She'll probably be on at some point tonight. And then Tony D'Angelo is taking on the Perfect 10. I don't know his new name. Sean Combs, right? Puff Daddy. That's his name. The Perfect 10. So he's fighting for the North American title, which he probably won't win because we all know that's the Olive Garden title now, and he ain't getting that anytime soon. So how about that? Great job, Danny. You're doing wonderful. What you got a take on here?
I was just going to ask, are they still doing the same gimmick with D'Angelo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Olive Garden manager. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw a bit of that when he first came into it, and it's like, it's quite a Vince thing. I didn't know if they were going to stick with it or not. If it was going to get old quickly.
He's got a whole family. He's got a lawyer. He's got an Italian lawyer. He's got an Italian henchman. He's got an Italian broad that comes around with him. I mean, they're doing it. So.
Oh, they've really leaned into it then, right? Fair enough.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I thought it was maybe a bit outdated, not in like an offensive way, just sort of like it's going to get old really quickly. But yeah.
I mean,
so
it's good, but this doesn't get old doing this.
Yeah, fair dude. So he's fighting Sean Spears or Ty Dillinger, whatever it's called. Now he's come back. Yeah.
Yep. Sean Combs. Yep. So
I'm glad he's come back as well.
And staying up all night. I know the time difference is crazy, but everything worked eventually.
Yeah.
You know, we got to stream the work. We got this is amazing. Can we find you anywhere? Do you want us to look you up, or are you just doing this out of the kindness of your heart?
Well, I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart, but it's great to be here. You can find me on Twitter at Blunt Damage. You can also find me on www.dannydamage.co.uk. I cover quite a lot of wrestling stuff. Well, in the past I've gone on at length about AEW not being proper wrestling, like a lot of us are nowadays. But I also do monthly write-ups of the pay-per-views, which I didn't for Blood Money / Crown Jewel, but I will be doing for Survivor Series and other pay-per-views in the future. But yeah, it's mainly Twitter at the minute. Yeah, I waffle shit about wrestling, films, the usual stuff.
Cool. Yep, that's where I met you. And you know, this could be you folks if you subscribe and stuff and act like a normal human being online. Then that would work. That would be helpful if you know about a little bit about wrestling and stuff. So, but you did excellent. Would love to have you back, of course.
Brilliant.
And let's go watch some more wrestling, or you maybe, in your case, go to sleep. Right?
No, I'm probably gonna stay up now. What time are we on? 1 a.m. now.
1 a.m. All right, it's early. It's
I've got
only
the gym in 5 hours, so
Yeah.
I'll probably stay up and just go to the gym.
All right. Well, thank you, Danny, and thank
Right, thank you very
everybody
much.
for watching. Don't forget
Bye,
to,
everybody.
of course, and like this video, right? So, all right, take it easy, everybody. Bye.
Titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!